Sir, I pray you a word. What lady is that same? The heir of Alanson, Catherine her name. A gallant lady, monsieur, fare you well. I beseech you a word. What is she in the white? A woman sometimes, and you saw her in the light. Perchance light in the light, I desire her name. She hath but one for herself, to desire that were a shame. Pray you, sir, whose daughter? Her mother's, I've heard. God's blessing on your beard. Good sir, be not offended, she's an heir of Falconbridge. Nay, my choler is ended, she's a most sweet lady. Not unlike sir, that may be. What's her name in the cap? Rosaline, by good hap. Is she wedded or no? To her will, sir, or so. You are welcome, sir, adieu. Farewell to me, sir, and welcome to you. That last is Brown, the merry madcap lord, not a word with him but a jest, and every jest but a word. It was well done of you to take him at his word. I was as willing to grapple as he was to a board. Two hot sheep's marry, and wherefore not ships? Not sheep, no sheep, sweet lamb, unless we feed on your lips. You sheep, and I pasture, shall that finish the jest? So you grant pasture for me. Not so, gentle beast, my lips are no common, though several they be. Belonging to whom? To my fortunes and me. Good wits will be jangling, but gentles agree the civil war of wits were much better used on Navarre and his bookmen, for here 'tis abused. If my observation, which very seldom lies, by the heart's still rhetoric, disclosed with the eyes, deceive me not now, Navarre is infected. With what? With that which we lovers entitle affected. Your reason? Why, all his behaviours did make there retire to the court of his eye, peeping thorough desire, his heart like an agate, with your print impressed, proud with his form, and his eye pride expressed. His tongue, all impatient to speak and not see, did stumble with haste in his eyesight to be. All senses to that sense did make their repair, to feel only looking on fairest to fair. Methought all his senses were locked in his eye, as jewels in crystal for some prince to buy, who, tendering their own worth from where they were glassed, did point you to buy them along as you passed. His face's own margin did quote such amazes, that all eyes saw his eyes enchanted with gazes. I'll give you Aquitaine, and all that is his, and you give him, for my sake, but one loving kiss. Come to our pavilion, Boyer is disposed. But to speak that in words which his eye hath disclosed, I have only made a mouth of his eye, by adding a tongue which I know will not lie. Thou art an old love-monger, and speakest skilfully. He is Cupid's grandfather, and learns news of him. Then was Venus like her mother, for her father is but grim. Do you hear, my mad wenches? No. What then do you see? I'll wait to be gone. You are too hard for me. Warble, child, make passionate my sense of hearing. Concolinel, sweet air, go tenderness of years. Take this key, give enlargement to the swain. Bring him festinately hither. I must employ him in a letter to my love. Master, will you win your love with a French brawl? How meanest thou, brawling in French? No, my complete master, but to jig off a tune at the tongue's end, canary to it with your feet, humour it with turning up your eyelids, sigh a note and sing a note, sometimes through the throat as if you swallowed love with singing love, sometimes through the nose as if you snuffed up love by smelling love, with your hat penthouse like o'er the shop of your eyes, with your arms crossed on your thin-bellied doublet like a rabbit on a spit. Or your hands in your pocket like a man after the old painting, and keep not long in one tune, but a snip and away. These are compliments, these are humours, these betray nice wenches that would be betrayed without these, and make them men of note. Do you note me, that most are affected to these? How hast thou purchased this experience? By my penny of observation. But oh, the hobby horse is forgot. Callest thou my love hobby horse? No, master, the hobby horse is but a colt, and your love perhaps a hackney. But have you forgot your love? Almost I had. Negligent student, learn her by heart and in heart, boy. And out of heart, master, all those three I will prove. What wilt thou prove? A man if I live, and this by in and without, upon the instant by heart you love her, because your heart cannot come by her. In heart you love her, because your heart is in love with her, and out of heart you love her, being out of heart, that you cannot enjoy her. I am all these three, and 3 times as much more, and yet nothing at all. Fetch hither the swain, he must carry me a letter. A message well sympathized, a horse to be ambassador for an ass. Huh? What sayest thou? Marry, sir, you must send the ass upon the horse, for he is very slow-gated, but I go. The way is but short, away, as swift as lead, sir. Thy meaning, pretty ingenious, is not led by lead, a metal heavy, dull, and slow. Minime, honest master, or rather, master, no. I say lead is slow. You are too swift, sir, to say so is that lead slow which is fired from a gun. Sweet smoke of rhetoric, he reputes me a cannon, and the bullet, that's he. I shoot thee at the swain. Thump, then, and I flee. A most acute juvenile, voluble and free of grace. By thy favour, sweet welkin, I must shy in thy face. Most rude melancholy valour gives thee place. My herald is returned. A wonder, master, here's a coster broken in a shin. Some enigma, some riddle, come thy l'envoi begin. No enigma, no riddle, no l'envoi, no salve in the mail, sir, no, oh, sir, plantain, a plain plantain, no l'envoi, no salve, sir, but a plantain. By virtue thou enforcest laughter, thy silly thought, my spleen, the heaving of my lungs provokes me to ridiculous smiling. Oh, pardon me, my stars, doth the inconsiderate take salve for l'envoi, and the word l'envoi for a salve? Do the wise think them other? Is not l'envoi a salve? No, page, it is an epilogue of discourse to make plain some obscure precedents that hath tofore been sane. I will explain it. The fox, the ape, and the humble bee were still at odds, being but 3. There's the moral. Now the l'envoi. I will add the l'envoi. Say the moral again. The fox, the ape, and the humble bee were still at odds, being but 3. Until the goose came out of door and stayed the odds by adding 4. Now will I begin your moral, and do you follow with my l'envoi? The fox, the ape, and the humble bee were still at odds, but being but 3. Until the goose came out of door, staying the odds by adding 4. A good l'envoi ending in the goose, would you desire more? The boy hath sold him a bargain, a goose, that's flat. So your pennyworth is good, and your goose be fat. To sell a bargain well is as cunning as fast and loose. Let me see a fat l'envoi, aye, that's a fat goose. Come hither, how did this argument begin? By saying that a custard was broken in a shin, that then called you for the l'envoi. True? And I for a plantain. Thus came your argument in, then the boy's fat l'envoi, the goose that you bought, and he ended the market. But tell me, how was there a custard broken in a shin? I will tell you sensibly. Thou hast no feeling of it, mote. I will speak that l'envoi. I custard running out that was safely within, fell over the threshold and broke my shin. We will talk no more of this matter, till there be more matter in the shin. Sirrah Costard, I will enfranchise thee. Oh, marry me to one, Francis. I smell some l'envoy, some goose in this. By my sweet soul, I mean setting thee at liberty and freedoming thy person. Thou art immured, restrained, captivated, bound. True, true, and now you will be my purgation. And let me loose. I give thee thy liberty, set thee from durance, and in lieu thereof impose on thee nothing but this. Bear the significant to the country maid Jaquinetta. There's a remuneration. For the best ward of mine honour is rewarding my dependents. Mote followed. Like the sequel, I, Signor Costard, adieu. My sweet ounce of man's flesh, my incony Jew, now will I look to his remuneration. Remuneration, and that's the Latin word for 3 farthings, remuneration. What's the price of this inkle? 1 penny? No, I'll give you a remuneration. Why, it carries it. Remuneration, why, it is a fairer name than French crown. I will never buy and sell out of this word. My good knave Costard, exceedingly well met. Pray you, sir, how much carnation ribbon may a man buy for a remuneration? What is a remuneration? Marry, sir, halfpenny farthing. Why then 3 farthing worth of silk? I thank your worship, God be with you. Stay, slave, I must employ thee as thou wilt win my favour good, my knave. Do one thing for me that I shall entreat. When would you have it done, sir? This afternoon. Well, I would do it, sir, fare you well. Thou knowest not what it is. I shall know, sir, when I have done it. Why, villain, thou must know first. I will come to your worship tomorrow morning. It must be done this afternoon. Hark, slave, it is but this. The princess comes to hunt here in the park, and in her train there is a gentle lady. When tongue speaks sweetly, then they name her name. And Rosaline they call her, ask for her, and to her white hand, see thou do command this sealed up counsel. There's my guerdon. Go. Garden. Oh, sweet garden, better than remuneration, 11 pence farthing, better, most sweet garden, I would do it, sir, in print, garden remuneration. And I, forsooth in love, I that have been love's whip, a very beadle to a humorous sigh, a critic nay of night watch constable, a domineering pedant o'er the boy, than whom no mortal so magnificent, this wimpled, whining, purblind, wayward boy, the senior, junior, giant, dwarf, Dan, Cupid, regent of love, rhymes, lord of folded arms, the anointed sovereign of sighs and groans, liege of all loiterers and malcontents, dead prince of plackets, king of codpieces, sole imperator and great general of trotting peritors. Ah, my little heart, and I to be a corporal of his field, and wear his colours like a tumbler's hoop. What? I love, I sue, I seek a wife, a woman that is like a German clock, still a repairing, ever out of frame, and never going aright, being a watch, but being watched, that it may still go right. Nay, to be perjured, which is worst of all, and among 3 to love the worst of all, a whitely wanton, with a velvet brow, with 2 pitch balls stuck in her face for eyes, and I, by heaven, one that will do the deed, though Argus were her eunuch and her god, and I to sigh for her, to watch for her, to pray for her. Go to, it is a plague that Cupid will impose for my neglect of his almighty dreadful little might. Well, I would love, write, sigh, pray, sue, groan. Some men must love my lady, and some Joan.